Hi, welcome to Pause on Purpose. And we are talking about dashboard gauges that indicate whether or not our behavior, our actions, our attitudes, our words are promoting unity. We started off with humility and gentleness, patience, and now that just goes right into forbearance or showing tolerance, depending on your translation. Now, what does that mean, showing tolerance? Does it just mean we just accept everybody and it doesn't matter what you believe and doesn't matter who you are and what you behave like? You can come and do whatever you want to do. Is that tolerance? I mean, that's what our culture says, that we have to be tolerant. And what they mean by that is condoning. It's like the movie The Princess Bride, where that gentleman keeps on saying, inconceivable. And finally, someone says, I don't think that word means what you think it means. And our culture has redefined terms once again and redefined tolerance as condoning. Well, those two words are categorically different. Showing tolerance means that I can accept you without condoning necessarily what you believe or how you behave. That's why Jesus was a friend to sinners. He never accepted the woman caught in adultery. He never condoned her behavior. In fact, he told her to go and sin no more. When the woman came and washed his feet during the dinner, it was known that she was a harlot. She was a woman of sin. Even the Pharisee knew that. Gosh, I wonder how he knew that. But even then, Jesus didn't condone her behavior, but showed tolerance to allow her to wash his feet with her hair, and more importantly, to show that she was forgiven of her sins by how she treated Jesus. And so, showing tolerance, we have to remember, is not condoning behavior. It means that we put up with others in all their shortcomings, in all their misgivings, in all their faux pas. We show tolerance. It's when we don't show tolerance, that's when the schisms start. That's when the backbiting and the talking began. We don't show tolerance. You see how this is really the other side of the coin when it comes to patience. Patience putting up with circumstances, tolerance is more putting up with people. Paul says to the church in Colossians, I pray that you may be filled with all spiritual wisdom and knowledge, you may know the will of God, and in all spiritual wisdom and understanding, not only knowing what God's will is, but knowing how to do it, but also patience and forbearance along with that. It's the same thing. Patience and forbearance, which means being patient in circumstances, forbearance with people. It was so important that Paul's initial prayer for that church in Colossae was for them to grow in that. How much more should we be praying that for our church to show humility, to show grace and gentleness and patience and tolerance? So when you think about tolerance, remember this. Don't abide by what the culture says. It's not condoning. It means putting up with people in order to love them to Jesus, to point them to Jesus. Yes, we can accept them to come to church, but we're not going to accept behaviors that are contrary to Scripture. We can show tolerance without condoning and without condemning. And that's what it means to go with God, because He goes with us.